Mr. Greg released 10 years ago, so let's talk about this Emmy-nominated Steven Universe episode. Hi there, my name is Tay, and I talk a lot. And Mr. Greg is definitely a fan favorite episode. Ranked number 2 out of all the Steven Universe episodes on IMDb, showcasing 7 unique musical numbers, all while remaining in the typical 11-minute episode format. The episode may have fooled you by starting off with a catchy burger jingle, but this episode fed fans with something raw and confessional, as it touches on grief and the complex dynamic that Pearl and Greg share. Understandably, many fans recall this episode when thinking of the performance of It's Over, Isn't It? The performance of this song was so well done by Pearl's voice actress that the crew ended up having to redo a lot of the initial storyboard for the episode, changing Pearl's expressions to be more exaggerated due to how emotional and dramatic the final sound ended up. And although It's Over, Isn't It may have stolen the show, Both of You is a song that I believe represents the episode's core. With being sung and spoken, this song gives Pearl and Greg a chance to see that they are much more similar than they are different. What I really enjoyed most about this scene was the coloring. It's very symbolic, with Greg being yellow, representing happiness, fun, what he brought into Rose's life, what allowed her to be human. Greg is still filled with all of these things, as he's also still filled with Rose. Pearl, on the other hand, is blue, the opposite. And the fact that her relationship with Rose was complex. She grieves how much she loved Rose and how much she sacrificed for her. Her entire identity is tied to her, so to grieve Rose is to grieve who she used to be. The colors of the two are also a parallel of Yellow and Blue Diamond, the sense of how they both grieved Pink differently, foreshadowing that Rose was in fact Pink Diamond, since this episode takes place before we find out that information. In this scene, Steven begins to play and a pink aura appears around him, which causes Pearl and Greg to cry, similarly to how he ends up reaching Blue and Yellow Diamond to tell them the truth about who he really is later in the series. But this musical episode is truly so iconic, and I can totally see why it was nominated for an Emmy. Comment down below what your favorite thing about this episode was and what your favorite Steven Universe episode is in general.